Dileep will listen to it and try to actually do something from the AICTE side, because we have the programs including full-time MBA program, PGDM programs. We have actually part-time actually the AICTE actually the approved programs. We have the full-time executive programs also, right? So now what happens, and we have also the fellow programs. Now what happens, not very clear, the NBA says we don't give the accreditation to the fellow programs. We don't give accreditation to the part-time actually the MBA programs. And still not very sure about, so far we don't get any clarity about whether they give the actually accreditation to the full-time 1-year executive programs or not. So now, is it actually the AICTE's requirement that our full-time 2-year actually executive MBA program should be accredited to NBA or what? So that's where actually some bit of confusion is there. We are not getting the right direction. So if we target to have the high MBA score so that we get the graded autonomy, what is the way out? So that's where actually the big challenge is there. Fellow program starters of standalone business schools in the big actually the uncertainty after the situation. Candidates, scholars, not very sure about, since now IIMs are offering the doctorate degree, what is the status of these fellow programs? They are AICTE approved, but not equivalent to the PhD. So we have been actually talking to the AIU, but still are waiting when this actually the day will come, whether we can apply for the actually the fellow program equivalence for the PhD. So that's where actually there's some uncertainty. And the last one is we are talking about research and publications. We must in the business schools. So must target to improve our research. Publication should be the byproduct or the outcome of it. Not that actually the looking at the numbers, which might actually lead to, might create some kind of academic waste as the country, as the community, we may see towards the end. Right? So this is what I just actually wanted to broadly two part. One is the rubrics. So it is not about we need to look at all of them differently. So if we concentrate on these 5 aspects of the rubrics, we are there for almost all types of the accreditation bodies and offer the ranking.
Thank
all
you.
right? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I think I can, yes, tried to bring in some of the issues which the management group of institutions are facing, and I think it is the time now we must look at. Just for your information, as I mentioned in my initial remarks, I was heading the bureau called as the bureau which is called as RIFT. So it is research facilitation, research development, faculty development, student development, institution development. But currently now, from last week, I have taken over a bureau called as policy and academic planning. Now in policy and academic planning, we are supposed to understand the problems of. So it is the right time that you brought this point to our notice, and we will be taking these points definitely forward, and we will involve some of you in making the policies. Now I would like to switch over to Madam Smitha Girija to present her views and also comments on what the earlier two panelists presented. Over to Madam Smitha.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Mr. Oberoi, for inviting me, and I'm so honored to be in this panel. So, with my limited experience, I was more in the other side, facing the accreditation bodies, and I'm also a peer review team member of SEAA, so that's very limited from the other side. So, my initial thoughts when we talk about accreditation, or that's FORE ranking for that matter, it actually brings in a sort of systematic perspective into the institute's mind. So when I talk about a perspective, for example, it is from the process side. So for that matter, any accreditation, whether it is national, international, or ranking, that's where we actually introspect ourselves and see whether we are following a certain process in the right direction. So from an institute's point of view, I think any sort of accreditation is going to add value to the institute's thinking. From the other side, when you sit in a peer review team, the points which we actually consider. He discussed about the faculty sharing. That is something which, if an institute offer multiple programs, you will be forced to show certain faculty under certain programs, their research under, and that then we start actually looking at the faculty for this accreditations. Okay, for the time being, let us show them here, and then once that is over, we move back to them. So that is a common problem which we face, and I think that is something which I also strongly request the DG to look into, because if we offer 5 programs, then obviously there is a faculty sharing requirement. See, from an accreditation point of view, it actually puts in 3 points. That's where the advantages are going to come in. First one is by attracting prospective students, excellent faculty, and also great recruiters. The second point, you're always there, excellence in education. And the third point, the teaching and learning process. So these are the 3 important points which, when we talk about any sort of accreditation. What we are missing here, or when we sit in, sort of peer review team, innovation is something which is very important. Innovation at every point, whether it is in teaching and learning, whether it is in defining certain other processes. That is something which I feel is one of the most important aspects. And though our frameworks of accreditation allows institute to do continuous innovation, this is something which I would like to raise it up for a discussion, because what I feel, especially in management, one will have to actually keep improving, revising our curriculum. Maybe what we started the beginning of the year, by the end of the year things may change. So do we have the flexibility in doing that? Will accreditation allows us to do, so the framework allows us to do that. This is something which I think one should actually look into. Second is the importance of practice-based learning when we talk about the management education. Are we actually giving enough weightage, especially in the national accreditation process, when we talk about accrediting new business schools? So this is another important point which again I would like to hear from the panelists. So one more point which we talk about is the faculty. So I think this is one of the major, the focus is so much on research. Professor also mentioned about, it's not about any research, we're talking about quality research. But when the focus moves, that too with young PhDs coming out of premium institutes, what's happening is the focus is more going into research, and the focus on teaching and learning, the one which I talked about, innovations in teaching and learning, that is somewhere I strongly feel that that is lacking. So, I'm just sharing my thoughts, and I think I will just I think conclude here with my initial thoughts. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, madam. I think you and Professor Biswal both had raised a concern about faculty sharing, because there are a lot of sharing of the faculty resources. Just wanted to add here that the MBA was a part of AICTE about 4 years before. 5 years before, but it has become an independent body itself. We can, pass on your concerns to NBA through our chairman, who is a part of their council, and we keep doing that. But what I feel is that this faculty sharing is not only there in management, it is there in every institution and in engineering colleges. There is a faculty sharing of first year faculty, teachers to all the department, mechanical faculty, engineering drawing in particular, teachers to the students of all the disciplines. So faculty sharing is already there, and there is a clear-cut formula method to calculate the fraction of the faculty. So one faculty can be, teaching 2 different departments, and fraction of 1 can be allocated to the respective department. But I will still look into it more critically. As far as innovation is concerned, AICTE has about 3,500 engineering colleges. Again, I will quote the example of engineering colleges. But in 50% of the colleges, 60% of the colleges, we have set up Institution Innovation Council. From 2017 onwards, I think for the first time, on an extremely big scale, we have tried to connect engineering college students with the problems of the country. and problems of the country were taken from the government of India's ministries, and these problems were solved by students for about 4 months, and the product was demonstrated in a competition which was held at 30 different colleges, working on coding for 36 long hours non-stop. And our Honorable Prime Minister had addressed the students, about 1,000 in number, in each of the 30 centers. So large number of students are taking part, and from 2017 the number which was 40,000 had increased to 1 lakh, has now increased to 2 lakhs, and this number is increasing. So that kind of ecosystem is getting created in engineering colleges, but we need to put in special efforts in management institutions. And as far as your desire of having comments on international accreditation now, I would like to request Mr. Raman, who is the expert in this international accreditation, who will address this issue. Mr. Raman, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I won't really speak to you in a kind of casual, informal sort of way, because I'm not an academic. Okay, can I go there? All right.